Hello, Mr. Shatner. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, what a pleasure it is for me to grasp this opportunity to talk to you.
I wanted to give you the proper introduction for everybody that is listening, because this is such an exciting moment. You are, of course, back as the host and executive producer of the UnXplained, which I love. And of course, your Emmy and Golden Globe Award winning William Shatner here with me. So exciting, William.
I'm so excited to be with you, too. Well, the UnXplained is on tonight, Friday nights at 9 o'clock on the History Channel. I'm glad you like the show. I love the show, too. It's one of those shows that you think, wow, I'm very proud to be with it, because it reflects so much of what I think, which is I'm tantalized by the mysteries that are all around us. Of course, life after death, but there's no answer to that. But there are other mysteries that you think, how did that happen? Where did that go? What is the answer to voodoo curses? What is the answer, for example? Tonight is all about mummies and mummification, and the Egyptians who did it, and other people who are doing it now today. The curse on King Tut's tomb. People who broke into that tomb against the legend of "Don't tread on me," they've died. Mysterious deaths.
Wow.
So many of them. What's the answer to that, man? What's the answer to somebody dying because they broke into a tomb?
This is making me so happy, because one of the first questions that I did want to ask is, are you truly interested in all of these subjects, from UFOs and vampires and all the...
Come on! What else is there? I mean, life, you eat, you got to put a spoonful of food in your mouth. That's very practical. But the impractical things about life is what makes life entertaining. The mysteries of life, you go around and say, wow, how did that... I mean, we know some of the answers now. The ancients thought, the sky was a velvet cover and there were little pinpricks in the and that was what made the light. That's what they thought was the answer to the night sky. We now know those are stars. But that brings up a bigger mystery. So now we know there's stars out there, and they're not little pinpricks. But they're expanding. The universe is expanding. It should be contracting. It's expanding. We don't know why. How about that for a mystery?
Oh, my God. It is. And I love that you're exploring it. And I think there's, like you said, I mean, what else is there other than to just ask the questions of what is really happening in our universe, and what...
Right. And then add that to occasionally a discovery, like black holes, like Stephen Hawking thing. Black holes. No, there's no... Yes. There's a thing that sucks up all the energy in its neighborhood called a black hole. But what is it? Where does it go? What happens to it? We don't know. And the same thing with tonight. Mummies, mummification. We don't know how they mummified these bodies. We don't know what the process was. We just know that it happened, and there's potentially a curse on King Tut's body. But it goes further than that. What about people who exist today who have mummified the bodies of their loved ones and trot them out every so often on an occasion, dress them up, and talk to them like they were alive?
What?
Yes. It's a what? But so you say, oh, okay, so that's no different than going to the grave of somebody you love and talking to the grave of somebody you love. Okay, I got that. What about the opposite, where people mummify themselves alive? They're alive, and they mummify themselves so they can speak to the dead.
No!
It's a wow. I'm telling you. The show should be called Wow.
Oh.
I got another one for you.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Save the wow. Ready to go with a wow in a moment?
I'm so ready.
Ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay. Okay, ready? Start. Give me a wah. Give me a wah first.
Wah. What?
Wah. Yeah, okay. Now you're going to finish with an OW in a moment.
Okay.
They've taken DNA from a mummy, and they've reproduced the vocal cords of a monk that was dead 3,000 years ago, and they've vibrated the vocal cords, and this dead person person, 3,000 years old, made the sound. Give me the OW now.
Ow! You want just OW, or you want ow, or wow, or oh my gosh?
You got a wah. You got a wah. I want an OW.
All right.
Is that a wow?
That is such a wow. That is, and that's all tonight. This is what we're going to be seeing tonight on the History Channel.
That's what you'll be seeing tonight. Last week was about mummies. It was about the mysteries of the Bible. Next week is about monuments that are mysteriously made, that have secrets behind them. This show, The Unexplained, to me, is the best of its kind. There is such interest, such mysterious thing. I like to think of it as ooga booga. It's such ooga booga.
I love that term. I'm going to start using that for the unexplained. It's the ooga booga.
It's the ooga booga, and we're surrounded by mystery, and these are just some of the mysteries that are out there that have no explanation, and it drives me crazy.
Well,
that there's no explanation.
But how fun that you do actually get to explore these topics, and sometimes we do get an answer, right? Like, I mean, we have to keep searching. So those moments where you get the mummy.
That's the answer. That's the mankind's quest, isn't it? The search for knowledge, always. That's what we're here for. The search for knowledge.
I agree. And, Mr. Shatner, if you don't mind dropping a little bit of knowledge on a couple of other things.
I'm going to drop some knowledge right now.
I can't wait.
What do you want to know? I know everything.
I know you do. Well, I asked our listeners, like, what do you want to know from Mr. Shatner while we're talking here?
What a mystery that is. And what was the answer?
You know what's funny? I got so many animal questions about you. I did not know. So you have quite the love of horses, correct? And where did that come from? And what have you learned from horses? Because I'm an animal lover. I learned so much from my pets.
Me too. See, I've got 2 dogs, 2 Dobermans. I've had dogs all my life, and I've had horses for the last many years. You need to be able to afford to own a horse.
Oh,
that
yes.
Takes a while. But what have I learned? I've learned everything. I've learned the connectivity of all things. I'm writing an album right now with a great poet and a great musician. And the album is an album about my experiences I've had, a autobiographical album. It's going to be really extraordinary. We've been picked up by a big label, and it's going to be an incredibly experience for me. One of the songs that we're working on right now involves my seeing an apple tree many years ago, stopping by the side of the road to pick an apple, and my biting into the apple and the crack of this incredibly fresh apple, the sound it made still is in my ears after these many, many years that have passed. I can still hear how beautiful this apple was. And you could extrapolate from that singular experience all of life. The apple, the goodness of the apple, the fact the apple grows, the fact that I was on the road, how did I get to the apple tree, what the apple tree growing. I mean, so the unity of life with your animals. I mean, my dog, I don't have them here because they would interfere with the interview. But when they look at you, they're just looking at you. Last night, one of my dogs just wouldn't stop looking at me in the eye, not just in my direction. She came up and just sat beside me and looked into my eyes. And I kept talking to her, saying, "What are you thinking? What are you doing? Why are you looking at me?" It was like creepy in a way. She just kept
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like they're looking into your soul.
They're looking, that's what they're doing. They're looking into your soul, and vice versa. You're looking into their soul, the soul of this beautiful dog, the soul of this beautiful horse. But more than that, How about all those beautiful animals that we're killing and that are going extinct, and the killing the elephants and the orcas so the fact that you look into the eyes of your dog gives you an example, an extension of how all of nature is related. That's what this song is about.
It's beautiful. And I love the episode of The Unexplained where you actually did explore, dogs being able to, identify cancer and things like that. It all comes back to this is the show you need to be watching tonight, The Unexplained with Mr. William Shatner. Thank you. Thank you. I wish we had more time, but I am so honored that we had the time that we did. All right. Take care, sir.